are interested in personal development, health, being black in the 21st century, love and relationship, the subconscious mind, wealth creation, black history, and so much more.
Hello people, kings and queens, it's Imani in the house. I'm back at my usual slot, and I have got a special guest for you. As I promised, Carl Foster is in the house. Now I've got a surprise for you, because I've got a copy of his debut book, Selfmade. I've got a copy of his book, Selfmade, and I'm going to give it away. It's going to be a signed copy of Carlos's book. So please, it's the way we're going to do it is everyone who comes, everyone who rings in or texts in or whatever, we're going to have you on a list, and then we're going to choose randomly who's going to win. So make sure that you text in or ring in. Remember that the telephone number is 07580183483. That's 07580183483. Or you can email us at nubiahouseradio@gmail.com. That's nubiahouseradio@gmail.com. And also, anyone who emails will be put in the competition as well. So we're giving away Carl Foster's book with us. It's going to be signed by the man himself. And yes, before he comes on, we're going to play a little warm-up for you just to get you in the mood, because we're going to be talking about personal development. We're going to be talking about the subconscious mind. We're going to be talking about everything that is going to make your life work. Carl is your man. He's going to break these concepts down for you into simple, digestible, bite size. So he will be on shortly, but here we go. We're going to keep you warmed up and ready and rearing to go.
If you do the three things I tell you to do tonight,
just bear with me for the moment.
Whatever it is you want to do in life,
we are having some technical. Oh, it's on. Okay.
Academically, financially, relationally, whatever. So three things. All right, now I'm gonna tell you the story. I got to get out of here. And the story is about, you guys have probably heard about this before. It was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, I want to be on the same level you on. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He like, the beach? I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have worn shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he's like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he's like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he crazy. Said, come on out a little further. Came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This God is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answer the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than lip. What's that word? He said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you've got to be willing to give up sleep. You got to be willing to work off for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it. You got to go days without, listen to me, you got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat. Beyonce said once she was on the set doing her thing, 3 days had gone by, she forgot she didn't eat. Because she was engaged. I'll never forget when 50 Cent was doing his movie, I did a little research on 50, and 50 said that when he wasn't doing the movie, he was doing the soundtrack. And they said, when do you sleep, 50? Sleep, he said, sleep is for those people who are broke. I don't sleep. He said, I got an opportunity to make a dream become a reality. Football players, how many football players? Got anybody like football in here? Raise your hand. Anybody like football? Emmitt Smith. I used to be a Cowboy fan before they did my boy Tom Landry wrong. I used to be a Cowboy fan. And watch this, there was a commercial. Emmitt Smith had won his first Super Bowl, and he had this commercial when he was lifting weights. I don't know if you saw the commercial. He was lifting, and he said,
Okay, Imani's back. I hope that warmed you up and got you ready for the show. We are going to start with Carl. He's here live and direct at the mic. And yes, we're going to start now. So just going to quickly introduce him. He is a family to the show. He's an author, as you know, if you've heard him before, mentor. He's a speaker. And I'm really proud to have him on the show, and I'm proud to call him my brother. So without any further ado, we're going to go straight into speaking to Carl Foster.
Oh, good evening, everybody. It's really a big pleasure today to be on the Imani Speak show on the Nubia House radio show. Really glad to be on the show, and really, listeners, we just want to inspire you, motivate you, really get you pumped up on life and get you pushing your life to the next level, taking it to the higher gear. So I really hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, so Carl, what I want to ask, what I want you to do, just really tell the people a bit about yourself. Anywhere you'd like to start. Yeah. Okay. Anywhere you feel comfortable starting.
Yeah, many years ago, a friend at work, we were just like casually talking about our goals, our dreams, and where we wanted to go in life. And this friend of mine recommended that I read a book on the law of attraction. And I mean, at the time, I didn't even know what the law of attraction was. I thought, what is she talking about, relationships or something like that? I didn't have an idea what that meant, what the law of attraction was. And I took her advice and I read the book on the law of attraction, and it really opened up my mind that we really have to be responsible for our thoughts, because the law of attraction says what you think about is what you attract into your world. For example, if you're thinking negative thoughts, then you attract a lot of negative situations and circumstances into your life. And if you're thinking positive, you attract a lot of positive stuff into your life. And that led me to start to study this philosophy and this way of thinking further. And I read a lot of books, listened to hours of audio. And before long, in 2010, I started to experiment and start writing. And that was the year the Selfmade book was born, which is my book, which is out now, Selfmade.
So, Carl, how did you feel when you got your book out, when your book was published and it was out there for everybody to see?
It was awesome. It was awesome, but the part that really touched me and really blew me up was the journey. The journey itself. Just when I think back to May 2010, when the idea of Selfmade actually came, that was what really blew me up. It just totally took me on a different journey. Took me on a different journey completely. And then the end result, as you mentioned, that was just like, wow, this stuff is real. You know, it really was like clarity. It was like the stamp to say, yes, you know, this is real. If you commit yourself and you hold in your mind your dreams, your goals, you do achieve them if you never give up. And I never gave up.
Okay, so, you know, what was the motivating factor for you? I know you've talked about this before, but what was it that kind of drove you? Because
I think it was the vision, holding on to that vision, just holding on to that dream of the journey, the end of the journey, you know, and you don't focus too much on the journey. You do what you have to do, but you keep the vision of what it is you want to achieve. You keep your eyes focused on the goal. And that was where my mind was focused. And it's only now when I look back, I sort of think, wow, I did this and I did that and I did all of this to achieve this, you know, and it's taught me something. And it's, you know, I had the theory, I had the concepts of what you need to do to achieve a goal, and I had achieved a few before in the past, but this was the real sort of life-changing one in terms of it changed my perception of myself.
So for you, what was the next step? What happened next for you?
What I learned from the Selfmade book was from achieving one goal, another goal is born out of that goal. So you could start off with a specific goal in mind, and if you're new to this, you think to yourself, well, that's it, I'm going to just achieve that goal and that's it. But from the achievement of one goal, another goal is born. You know, initially my goal was to just produce the book, and that was it. I had nothing else planned in mind other than that. But then from producing the book, I had people requesting, oh, you should do talks, you should do workshops, you should do speaking, you should do this, that. And I was like, wow. So then it just took me on a whole other level of, you're right, now, you know, all these different goals started to born out of this one book.
Can I interject there, Carl? What were you like before you started doing talks? Was that something that was in your normal range of...
I was very shy, quiet, introvert at times. You know, somebody said to me, oh, you know, if I was at a wedding or at some sort of an event and somebody said, oh, do you want to go up and say a speech or something? I'd have said, no. I would be the last person to say anything, you know. And I totally wasn't a person who wanted to be under the spotlight. And when I, you know, came on this journey with Selfmade, it made me grow and change and challenge those fears. And now I'm a person that doesn't really mind. I actually enjoy speaking in public now. It's really turned what was a weak point into becoming a strength.
Fantastic. So that it changed you. It made you a different person. So you were getting closer to the real person that you were always meant to be.
Yeah, I'm learning about myself, and I'm realizing the person I thought I was, that wasn't really the person.
And so that was your self-esteem changed, I would imagine.
Yeah,
is what you're,
definitely. And it made me be more effective and more productive in serving others, in caring about others, and, you know, just giving more to my friends, relatives, my community, and just giving more to life.
So, Carl, the book Selfmade. Give us a breakdown, you know, of it, and certain aspects of it that you feel people, you know, need to, because we're giving the book away, and you know, give them a sort of a marketing ploy of, you know, why they should read Selfmade,
well,
what it will do for them. Right,
I'll talk a little bit about the book, and I'll also read a couple of pages from the book.
Oh, that's great.
To give you a taster. But what I really want to say from the book, it speaks for itself. The subtitle of the book is Finding the Goodness and Greatness Within Yourself. You know, and then the title, as you know, is Self-Made. And what does Self-Made mean? Self-Made is to create your own journey, is to be the director of your journey. You could have a lot of things going on in your life that isn't on par with where you want to be or where you want to go. You know, you could have emotional hurt, emotional setbacks, all sorts of things, distractions. Those are just like the wind. That's just something that is blowing against you, buffeting against you, and you have to keep your eyes focused on that goalpost. And Self-Made, the meaning is to create the journey, is to create the life that you want to live. It could be anything. And then finding the goodness and greatness, that's finding that inner strength in you. You know, to create the book, I had to overcome my weak points. I had to find something good within myself. I had to find that strength in myself that I didn't even know I had. And that's finding the goodness and greatness within you. And one thing I could say for sure, and I'll bet everything on it, every one of you listening has got greatness in you. Every one of you has got goodness and greatness within you. You may have not found it right now, but it is there. You know, your job in this life that you've been granted is to find it and to build a life that's really great and to build a life that's really beautiful for you, for yourself, for your family, for the people around you. Because as you grow and as you improve and get better and better, that's going to affect the people around you in a very positive way, and you're going to be a better person for yourself and for them. So what I'm going to do, I'll read a little bit from the book, and just to give you like a taster.
What part are you reading, Carl?
I'm going to read the poem by Edgar Guest, It Couldn't Be Done, and that's really to get listeners to know that it can be done. And then I'm going to read the opening of the book, and hopefully later on the show I've brought a poem here that I wrote a couple of years ago called Dreams, and it's really about getting people to realize their dreams and to find that inner strength. But first off, I will start with this poem that's in the book, and this is It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Guest, and it's actually written in 1919.
Wow.
So
this is going back some time. Yeah?
I don't think any of you were born at that time, but here we go. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one. Who wouldn't say so till he tried? So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point at you one by one, the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a trace of a grin. Just take off your coat and go do it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that couldn't be done, and you will do it.
Wow.
So listeners, you know, keep on track, keep pushing towards that goal. You know, I know sometimes you may feel tired, you may feel depressed, you may feel saddened, you know, by things that are going on around you. Be unstoppable, become unstoppable. Don't allow those things to stop you. They may hurt you periodically from time to time, but you're bigger than that and you're stronger than that. You're more resilient than that, and you will overcome it. Just keep pushing ahead, and those dreams are going to come true.
That was a fantastic poem, Carl. I just love the way, you know, it just tells you, it can be done, and there's nothing that you can, you know, you cannot achieve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It sure can be done, you know, and I know that from my own experience, you know, for some listeners out there, or some people who may know of my work a bit more in depth, will know that as a child I was a kid who struggled with reading, writing, who struggled in school, and it was thought at that time that I wouldn't really achieve much in life, you know, and I technically, in part, I had that belief myself. I did have to, every journey, every step was proof, was like, you know, I'm going to prove that I can do this, I'm going to prove that I can do that, and I just kept on track with it. And I'm not going to say this to boast about my achievements, but I'm saying it in the sense where that listeners can understand they can achieve what they want to achieve.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm just using my journey, my journey as an example that even with you, if you're born with an obstacle in front of you, it could be a learning issue, it could be some sort of disability. Even if you're born with those things, you can still achieve certain things. I mean, even if you think back to the Paralympics last year, and you saw people who had lost limbs and had some serious disabilities.
Absolutely.
And
Goodness.
They were more able-bodied than what we classify in society as able-bodied, you know, and that's proof and testimony that, you know, the mind is so powerful that if a person really wants to achieve something big in life, nothing can stop them. We are unstoppable. You know, we just have to have a bigger and stronger desire to win.
Absolutely. So, Carl, what do you want to read? Did you want to read the next portion, or did you?
I'll read the opening, and yeah, I'll give the listeners just a taste of what the book is really trying to say. So this is like the preface in the book, and this is on the page marked as Selfmade Explained. So
thank you for that.
What I'm going to say here is Selfmade. This book is about the challenges that one faces with oneself in order to achieve success in life. It's about overcoming the temptation to quit, the temptation to be sidetracked and discouraged by others, and about our inner demons which laugh at us and try to keep us stuck where we are. We may have the desire, we may have the dream, but do we have the willpower, the power and drive to win? So many big ideas today lay in the graveyard because the person who had them didn't stay on track for their implementation. They gave up at the slightest obstacle, and they listened to negative self-talk in their own mind. Their friends and relatives perhaps didn't support them. They got discouraged and forgot the vision that excited them in the first place. The true winners know better. To achieve your goals in life, you must be persistent and never quit. You must express drive and determination and the burning desire to succeed. You must have a powerful belief that you can win, and then surround yourself with like-minded people that will keep you on track. You can also ensure your success by unlocking the secrets to your subconscious mind, which will create a great life for you and the ones you care about. Your only challenge is you. This book will inspire you to take control over yourself and change your life for the better. This book is about remaking yourself so that you can be everything you should be. Now, let's begin.
Okay, so that's a really good beginning, introduction, and definitely it's really showing what's to come, and you really just want to open it. People, you want to put, when you pick this book up, you want to keep turning the pages. Absolutely, really want to keep turning the pages, and for the next chapter, and you find yourself within those pages.
Yeah, and that's really what I want the readers to get from Selfmade is peeling that part of you down to reveal the true power that's within, and just really studying yourself, because reading the Selfmade book is really a study of yourself, because you're going to learn a lot of things about yourself as you go through the techniques in the book, as you read the chapters of the book. It's really going to open up your mind and expand your thoughts and your thinking, and give you some new creative ideas that you can apply to your own life and will achieve what you really want, which is that positive change in life. There's some people that are feeling stuck, feeling like they can't move left or right, feeling like they're on a treadmill, going nowhere. And I'm here to say that you can now get off that treadmill and start to go on a journey, and that journey is called success.
So Carl, you work with people, you work with children. I know you want to talk about education and how it is for our children, and where it might be failing our children, and what parents should be looking at, what their input, because you can't really just trust sending your children to school and not doing your bit as well.
I mean, for children that are struggling in school, and they could be going through a lot of things. It could be dysfunctional family life. Some of them may even be going through abuse, and a variety of different things. And it's really tough and it's really challenging for them. And the support out there needs to be more support out there. And if that support isn't there, parents have to jump in some respect. And if the child is old enough to think for themselves, then they have to focus on finding that inner strength within themselves. And it's hard. They need that sort of coach, that mentor, somebody there to push them and to encourage them. I think if I look back to my own childhood, looking back now as a grown man, I think just a little encouragement and a bit of a push would have helped me through those tough times, and I think teachers are probably not always given that education or made equipped to sort of give that little bit of a coaching or a bit of a mentoring for the kids. So the ones
Carl,
that
so
fall
I just
behind,
that is fantastic there. I mean, it's about not just teaching the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. It's about the motivation and finding, and also isn't it also about finding what gifts that particular child has? Because it's not all about intellectual learning. Not that might not be the best way to start for that child.
Exactly, I totally agree. Sometimes the focus is on reading, writing, and maths. you know, and that's like the main focus. And then you've got some kids who are very poor in that area, but they're very artistic, they're very creative. They can create ideas, they can draw, they can do drama, sports, all sorts of activities, and they can still contribute to society with those skills and abilities as well. But you know, often in school they're pushed to the back, and they're made to feel that they're not as advanced or as important as the ones that are excelling in the reading and writing and the maths, you know. And I think we should get them to develop their strengths and use their strengths.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's why I truly agree with finding the goodness and greatness within yourself. That is the key. That is finding what good skills and what greatness is within that child. And I know there's goodness and greatness with all kids, but we just have to, as parents, we just have to find it. As teachers, we just have to find it, bring it out of them, coach it out of them, you know, and boost their confidence. Even if they're struggling in certain areas, we still have to boost their confidence and make them feel good about themselves. As through them feeling good about themselves and feeling confident about themselves, that they're going to participate and keep trying until they grow and improve. And I've seen that happen with many kids, where a child would have been struggling for a while, and then suddenly as the child's growing older and maturer, you know, moving out from their toddler years into maybe the early teens, they're starting to progress, and you sort of think, oh, they don't struggle with that anymore, you know. And it's just through a little bit of a push and a bit of encouragement, and them just feeling a bit good about themselves and feeling better about themselves, that they find their way. You know, some of us struggle a little bit, but we just need that little push and we get through it.
Absolutely. So there isn't one way to learn, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And parents are, you know, can be a big encourager.
Parents could be definitely a big encouragement. You know, despite your child's struggles or your child's disabilities, boost them up, boost up their confidence. Tell them how great they are, how brilliant they are. You know, compliment them. And, you know, those compliments aren't a passive thing or aren't something that's flippant to them. It's something that's really deep to them. You know, it's very tangible and very powerful to that young mind when a parent believes in them. Because if you believe in them, that, you know, that can only add to them believing in themselves. So we must, you know, focus on boosting up our child's confidence and making them feel special and understanding that they do have something really special to offer and to give. So Carl, do you want to talk about anything that's going on for you right now that, you know, you'd like people to be involved in? The next stage for Selfmade now is really to take it on the stage, and it's to start to do more talks and events. A couple of weeks ago I was at a great event up in Liverpool Street in London, and the event was called To Inspire, and it was their first anniversary event. And I was glad to be a guest speaker up there. And as I said, in my past, I was quite shy, quiet guy. But I had to just jump on that stage and couldn't get on there quick enough. And it was, you know, really great to be up there. And I was in heaven because, you know, it was an environment where everybody was positive and very inspirational. There was authors there, singers there, performers, lots of entrepreneur type people, and a lot of great people from the community. And you know, it was just great to be around them. I could just feel that positive energy, and I want to do more and more events like that.
It just shows as well, Carl, that there's so many talented people in our community. Yeah. And, you know, we just need to know these events and attend them and support them, really. Yeah,
and you see, that's another thing that I want to say, why I'm so grateful to be the author of Selfmade, is that, you know, it's opened up my life to really give thanks to this life, you know, and this world that I'm in that I'm seeing so much beauty in the world. Whereas before Selfmade, I used to be moaning and complaining. I used to think everything was just horrible and bad sometimes, you know, and it didn't give me the opportunity to enjoy life, because you find that happens with a lot of people, that, you know, you get focused so much.
Focus on what's not working.
Yeah, and what does that do in the long run? You get stressed out, you get ill, and you have a short life through those stresses and those illnesses.
Absolutely.
You know, but through the study of this philosophy and through the promotion and reading of this book, on my journey I've met so many talented and exciting people, and it's just a great journey. You know, I just have to give thanks, and I give thanks almost every day, because it's just amazing to be involved in this. You know, and also I want to just mention I'm booked to do talks at schools and so on, and that's something I never dreamed of ever doing, ever. That just, you know, if you spoke to me 5 years ago and you said, yeah, in 2013 you're going to be this author, and you're going to be sharing your story and your journey at events and at schools and talking to young people and stuff, I'd have said that isn't me. You know, I just wouldn't have seen myself as that type of person. And this is proof that you really can become who you want to become.
Absolutely. So it's really about people finding. So, you know, like I was going to ask you about goals, and you know, how do you go about setting your goals? What have you got, like a simple format that you can give people? Because we've been talking about that for a few weeks.
I mean, goals is a combination of desire, really. Want. It's a case of wanting something and a desire for something, and being passionate about something. And you create a goal, you have this idea, a concept of something you want to achieve. And most of us have that, and if it's a goal that's really valuable and really life-changing and quite big, most people tend to throw it out, because we look at where we are now. We think, oh no, I could never, you know, achieve that, because I'm here now. And we kind of look on ourselves like we're made out of stone, like we don't fluctuate, like we don't move, like we don't change, you know. And to achieve the goal, you have to start to put into it. It's like a bank account. You have to start to put the pennies in.
Absolutely.
And what are the pennies in terms of achieving a goal? Well, that is the actions, and that is investing time and actions into it. I mean, if it was a business that you wanted to start up, you would start to write down a business plan, for example. You'd start to do a little bit of research, maybe read books, maybe network and talk with people who have achieved the same goal. If it's a relationship, the same kind of thing. You may start to socialize, maybe start to meet people, whatever. You know, whatever the goal, you have to start to put actions towards the goal, and eventually, you know, that goal will start to grow. I can't put a time limit on it. I mean, it could take, you know, 6 months, 6 weeks, it could take a year, a couple of years. Depends what the goal is, depends on how committed you are, how big your desire is, how badly you want to achieve the goal. I mean,
how important is the commitment, Carl?
The commitment is very important. I mean, if I talk to you about the journey of achieving Selfmade, in terms that I was working with a publisher to produce the book, and it was all looking pretty good. I mean, they designed 90% of the book, what the book looks like today. Me and that publisher, we worked on that and produced the book how it looks today, but they didn't complete the book, and they went bankrupt a couple of months before the book was due for its release. And in that moment, it was a crushed dream, you know, on a conscious level for me. I was like, well, that's it, you know. But then it's like my subconscious mind kicked in with all the positive thinking I was studying all them years. And I was like, no, action, 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 action. And before long, I was emailing and phoning everybody and phoning this one and emailing that one. And just one day, just walking down the street, I got a phone call and somebody said, you're looking for a publisher, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, I still am. And they said, well, phone this particular person and, you know, they might be able to help. And I was like, okay, I didn't really think much of it. And I made the phone call anyway, and we talked. They read the manuscript, and they liked what they read, and the rest is history. The book was produced, you know. But that is an example of, you know, the commitment I had. I stayed, even despite losing money and being told that the publisher was bankrupt. That's a point.
So that was like an obstacle, and as well, you know, people need to know that there's going to probably be some obstacles on the way. Absolutely.
And I mean, I think some people, you know, there may be a musician, there may be an actor, maybe an artist, could be anything, and a situation like that occurs, and some of them think, well, you know, I put some money into this, and it, you know, look what happened now, the company's bankrupt, this is it. No, it's not it. You got to be like a lion and roar louder.
Back.
Yeah, and
forceful.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
energized.
I was stunned at first at that moment, knowing that they were bankrupt. But then something happened, and I just exploded and continued to really go for it, you know. And in any case, by May 2015, 12 last year, the book was published, and I was like, wow.
And here you are, and the book, and
yeah,
you know, we're really blessed to have you.
And it's been a beautiful journey, because ever since that day now, I've been able to come on shows like this and do events and things like that. And I'm actually planning a book signing event for July the 5th, and it will be at the Hackney Library on Mere Street, you know. So you know, if listeners, you know, look out, I'll be sending more information to the show. Yes,
please do, and I will definitely be there.
Okay.
So Carl, we've really gone through quite a few things about your life, where you are now, what you've been doing, and it's really about just for people, you know, if you were to kind of just bring home to people what, you know, what is really important, you know, what is really important for them to know about who they really are. Because like what you were saying earlier on, we start off somewhere thinking that that's who we are, because, you know, our self-esteem might be quite low, and we think, oh, that's me, this is who I am, and I don't deserve this, I'm not in that class, I can't go for that, I can't, you know. So it's like,
well, you see, all of that is just self-concepts. You know, I'm not in that class, I'm not this, or I'm born into that, and I'm this and I'm that. That's just concepts, your self-concept. You don't really know who you are. Who are you? What are you about? You're going to defy yourself because you was born into this particular family or that particular family, or you was born with this disability or that disability, or you was born with this disadvantage or that advantage. You decide. You can change it. And that's really what I'm here to say, and that's really the message of my book, is that you can change things, you can move them around, you know, nothing is fixed. And
because life is like a game, really, isn't it? And it's like
you make the moves, you're in the driving seat, you know.
Don't be a pawn in somebody else's.
Well, that's it. And the thing is, people get caught up too much with the external things that are going on around them, and that's like a smoke screen. And the dream, the poor dream, is lost in that smoke, and the person who's in charge of the dream forgets all about it, or just totally thinks it's not possible because of all the smoke around them.
Exactly.
You know? And you have to blast through that smoke, come out like I don't know, like a rocket,
a roaring lion, as you said.
Yeah, you know, a roaring lion,
and
just say, no, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to have this anymore. I'm going for what I really want. And, you know, it is my life, and this, I've been given life, and this is my opportunity to go and live it as I want to live it and be happy, and I'm going to do it. And you just got to make a decision right now that you're going to live the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
You know? And that is really all that really matters, you know, because as I say, I've seen around me people who are unhappy, people who are depressed, and it's not a good sight.
It's not a nice picture.
It starts out with a bit of unhappiness, leads to depression, and then what do some of these people do? They turn to drugs, alcohol, you know, and a variety of other things, and that makes the thing worse, you know. So your happiness is part of your health. It's very important to be happy within yourself. And I'm not saying happy in terms of the comfort zone. I mean happy as in flourishing and moving towards your goals and constantly living this life that you've been given and making it really beautiful.
Absolutely, and well said too. So, anything else you want to bring in, or where do you want us to go?
I've brought along a poem that I wrote many years ago called Dreams, and I want to read that out today because I think it's really important, because, you know, listeners, I know that you've got some beautiful dreams out there, and I know sometimes you may be feeling low, and you know, there may be a lot of challenging things going on around you at this moment, and you know, I understand it isn't easy, it is tough,
because we've all been there, and
we've all been there. You know, I could tell you some stories, but you don't want to stay there. Honestly, you don't want to stay in that situation. You want to move forward, and you want to, you know, rise from the ashes, and, you know, be the person that you was born to be. And I'm here to say that your dreams can come true, and I'm here to explain to you what dreams are and how to make them become real. And I'm going to read my poem here called Dreams, and, you know, I hope this really fires you up and gets you to make it happen and take some actions today after listening to this show. So here we go. Dreams. What is a dream? A dream is a stream of thoughts and images experienced during sleep or daydreams of one's desires. What are your dreams? What are your desires in life? Do you visualize a happy home, a carefree life, love, joy and happiness? A walk in the park, a dinner for two, a quiet drive down country lanes. Imagine happiness and bliss that's for you. You have the answers in you. You see, your dreams have power, the power from you. Your dreams are the visions of your life's desires, waiting for you to call them into the physical world. Your thoughts and feelings vibrate and bring your dreams to life. So don't give up on your dreams. With a desire and persistence, your dreams will come true. You have overcome so many trials, so many tribulations, so many obstacles and setbacks. This is a demonstration of your great power. So how can one make their dreams come true? One can apply the simple ingredients called faith, belief, persistence and patience. In the 1950s and 60s, Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream that was so powerful it turned hatred and fear into love, joy and freedom. He was patient, he was persistent, and he believed in faith. He waited many years for that dream to come true, and it did come true. Your dreams will come true, too. By the power of your persistence, you'll find the answers. Your dreams will come true. You are not just a being, you are a spiritual being, a life force of energy. You are a being of power and greatness. You are part of creation, and you are a creator. So just understand that you can have what you want in life and be who you want to be. By the power and wisdom of faith, it is possible.
Dreams, Carl, and we all have them. I mean, some people might think, oh, you know, I'm just a normal person. I'm just getting on with what's in front of me.
No,
I'm not gonna,
no. You have to really.
I don't want to get above my station.
No, get above the station. Get above the station.
I like
you
that.
have to explore. You have to explore. Tear down the barriers, listeners. Tear it down. You know, as I said before, make your life beautiful. Decide today. Decide right now.
Today is the day
that you are going to be happy. That you are going to be happy.
No matter what.
You know. Refuse to believe that there is anything sufficiently strong to defeat you. You know, make a decision that you are going to be happy, that you are going to make the most of yourself and make the most, of course, of your life.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you know, if you're listening and you're really excited about what Carl is saying, you know, start thinking about some of your dreams. Some of your dreams might be, you know, you put them in the back burner. Maybe you've been let down. You've tried things, as Carl was saying. Maybe people around you don't believe in you. You've got to remember that your inner voice, your inner world is the most important one. That's the one that can really change you, isn't it, Carl?
Absolutely. You know, listeners, you know, you have so much hidden potential, so much power within you to really make a dent in those obstacles that are holding you back. You know, I really just want you to trust in what we're saying today, and you know, understand that you can really turn this life around for yourself, really make things happen. You know, you've got some decisions that you have to make, you've got some actions you have to take. You know, go out there and prove to yourself, you know, make the most of yourself, make it happen. You know, this is your chance, this is your life, live it.
You only have one.
Exactly, absolutely. You know, we only have this life as we know it. We don't know what happens afterwards, you know, and while we're here, all I can say is make the most out of it. Really find out who you are.
And that's the thing, isn't it? They say enlightenment is knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
We spend so much time in getting to know other people, you know, like celebrities, and you know, what is a celebrity getting up to? You know, maybe, you know, gossiping about, you know, people down the road or at work or friends, but we don't spend enough time finding out who we are.
Absolutely. And you know, I want to touch on
Please do,
you know, on that right now. In terms of my sister just mentioning about celebrities and so on. On the back of the book, I wrote, you create yourself, you destroy yourself, and you reinvent yourself. You are self-made. And many people have started to ask me, what does that mean? What do you mean by that, Carl, when you say that? And you know, what I mean is, you create yourself in that. If you look at those celebrities and many successful people in the media, they create that success. You read their history, their life story, their biography. They went through hell and back to become as big and as potent and as successful as they are, and then they destroy themselves. Suddenly you're hearing they're doing drugs, they're doing this, they're doing all these things to tear their kingdom down, you know, to tear their empire down that they spent 10, 20 years or however long they were trying to build it up.
Do you know what I think? I feel possibly what happened is they stopped listening to that inner voice that got them there.
Absolutely.
They started listening to the external voices.
Absolutely, and that's what I meant in that hook that I put on the book, in that you create yourself, you destroy yourself. And then I said also, you reinvent yourself. Now, most of them, or I don't even know if I could say most of them, but I'll say some of them. You know, you hear a story of they've come back, you know, yes, he or she was on drugs, or they just got out of jail, but they're back now. They've got a new this out and a new that out. They've reinvented themselves. You are self-made. And that's really what that part of the book means, in that you create yourself. And often when things get bad, we like to blame others, but really it's us. We destroy ourselves.
It's always us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we have to pick up the pieces and reinvent ourselves. And then we stand up tall and we are self-made. And that's what it means, listeners. You're in charge. You're in the driving seat of your life, you know, and it's really to get you to get fired up, to get you to be inspired, to get you to be motivated, to get you to really get this journey started and get things moving, you know. And that is really what it's about. It's your life, and you know, you really have so much inner potential in you. You've just got to really start to use it.
Yeah, and for young people listening, say, I don't know, somebody in their teens or, you know, what have you, for them, you know, there's that, you know, needing to be part of a group, starting to find their little posse.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they've got mum and dad's voice in their ear, they've got the media out there, they've got the celebrities, they've got their friends. How do they find their own voice in all that madness that's going on? I know,
it is really tough for the teenagers. It is tough for kids as a whole. I think the teenagers is the most challenging part. God. Because as you mentioned, they do want to fit into a group, and we all at that age want to fit into some sort of a group. But I think there's more than one group, and I think as an individual, and I think we must stand as individuals, even when we are teenagers, we must be the person who stands up and be counted and be the leader and be confident within ourselves, you know, and go on the journey that we want to go. If you find yourself just following, then that's a very dangerous position to be in. You know, I was a young man once, and I remember when I was young, I selected the group that was in line with me, with what I wanted to achieve, you know. And the friends that I would go to raves and clubs with, they were guys who were interested in being somebody, interested in doing something with their life, you know. And we'd go out to these dances, you know, and it was fun, you know. And you know, our goal back then was we want to have a girlfriend, we want to meet, you know, go to a club, have a nice dance with a pretty young girl, and go out with somebody nice and stuff like that.
And there's nothing wrong with that, is there, Carl?
That was just
okay.
Typical sort of young man thinking. But even though we had that young side to us and that fun side to us, you know, those guys I was hanging out with, they were focused on their goals. They wanted to achieve great qualifications. They had ideas of what sort of job they wanted, what sort of career they wanted. And me, myself, I was the same. I at the time was focused on becoming a designer of clothing, a fashion designer. And I did achieve the goal. I went to college, and then at 26 years old, I had my own indoor market up in Peckham, so I achieved that goal. But, you know, that's how it was. I selected a group that was in line with what I wanted to do, you know. I mean, I could have, you know, suppose I just followed any group that was around at the time, and they were getting in, and I was hanging out with kids, for example, who were getting into trouble, who were getting into gangs, fighting, this, that. It wouldn't work. You've got to select a group that is in line with what you want to achieve, you know. And I said that in the book. I said surround yourself with like-minded people that will keep you on track. And that was exactly, you know, an example of what I was talking about in the book. You surround yourself with people who are going places. You know, you don't surround yourself with people who are just happen to be there and they're getting into this trouble and that trouble, and you know in your heart you don't want to get into trouble. You know, you find another group.
Carl, what I'm going to say here as well, a lot of people, particularly young people, sometimes feel having, being of colour, a person of colour, being black, they feel as though, the police is on their case, they're actually looking out there for them, looking out there to kind of, really sort of find a way to show that they're bad, they're not good, they shouldn't be on the road, what have you. And it causes maybe some young people to feel, well, what can I do? I'm just out there and I'm being picked on or stopped or what have you.
I wouldn't, advise them to try and prove them right. I would say, don't allow anything or anyone.
So try even harder. Make sure,
push harder, push stronger, and achieve your goal. Pull through. I've heard of these sort of things before. I mean, to be honest, I haven't experienced too much of it myself, but I've heard people in our community say what they've been through, and I've seen stories on the news about this, and it's not nice. Obviously, it's not nice. And we all remember what happened with Stephen Lawrence back in 1993.
Absolutely.
And we know these situations are out there, but we have to pull stronger and pull harder and really try and make the most of ourselves. Don't be defeated. Don't be weak. Be strong and hold tight to your dreams. Hold tight to your dreams and just keep pushing through. Make a decision that you're going to achieve the success that you want and deserve. It's your born
you decide
right.
What you deserve.
You decide.
You decide. Don't let no one else tell you.
That's it. Don't allow nobody to turn you into something you don't want to be.
Oh, Carl.
You're the commander of your ship, and steer it to what ends you desire.
Right, Carl, we've come up to an hour, and guess what? My music is not it's technical problems. So we've got another hour, and I feel where you've started and where we are so far is really good, and I know there's still so much that you want to share. And talking about the young people, how would you say that gap between the younger and the older generation,
right?
How would you close that gap so that people are kind of, the older people are understanding what the younger people are going through, and the younger people understand kind of what the older people are expecting from them, in terms of respect and
I think there is definitely a gap, because I think if you look back to what our parents' generation had achieved, a lot of them came from the Caribbean, and for some people their parents came from Africa and so on, and that generation, they seemed very humble and lived a very humble and straightforward life. They would come over to the UK and get a job and settle down, get married, have kids, and we were the product of those kids.
First generation.
And that was it. And they would go to church and so on, and and that was that. And they did whatever they did, maybe music, sing this, that, for entertainment, and have a laugh and dances for that. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I'm saying that was like the staple of that generation, and then our generation came up, and then the next generation came up, and we're kind of just totally on a different viewpoint from the previous. It's like not much passed over.
Do you think because I don't know, but I remember when being little or younger and wanting to talk, you speak in the Jamaican patois.
Yeah.
And I remember Mum always used to say, always, no, you can't do that, because it's going to affect your writing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like you just said, it seemed as though the older generation back then, they really wanted to push us into the white society, and they felt, for them they saw it as, we're going to get education, we're going to get these jobs, we're going to, we're going to have the things that they didn't have.
They could see the potential. They were the positive ones, because they could see the potential. They could see that, well, look, you're in a rich, wealthy country, there's all this opportunity, we never had this opportunity when we was your age, and that was their mentality, but we couldn't see that. And that's why you find, like, you get people, you see it many times, you get people who come from a complete different country and they prosper so well. Why? Because they have a goal, And the problem is the people who live here, most of us don't have that.
Yeah.
We don't have a goal.
Yeah.
We're just responding to what's going on around us. That's the difference. If something good's happening around us, then we jump on that. If something bad's happening, then we jump on that. But those people come from abroad, they're like, well, if I could go to England, then I would do this and I would do that. Maybe I'll study for 5 years and I'll do this and I'll do that. I might do a bit of cleaning to bring in some money to pay for my studying. And you'll see them doing cleaning. People think, he's doing cleaning. But he or she is...
They know where they're going.
That's just financing them until they finish their studies, and they blow up and they're doing a job 10 times better than than many around them, so they have a goal. A lot of us don't, and that's why some of these people come from nowhere and just fly.
And I think that is so key what you've said, because it's like the parents of that generation, they had a goal, and it was for their children to be all the things that they were not able to, or they wanted them to have an easier life.
Absolutely.
And I think what happened is, even though people were sent for to come here, because I was watching the Windrush, I don't know if you know about the Windrush.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, I was watching that a few weeks ago, and what I realised is, the government sort of catered. They were expecting these people to come, and there were all these jobs and all these things to do. But it's almost as though the government didn't sort of bank on they were going to have families here. So we're like excess almost. They never sort of included us. They never included us in the future. So it's like there is no real, it's almost like, so
we're here.
Yeah. But what you said is really good, because it's, it is okay to take maybe little jobs and do little things and see, if you got your vision, even though we are in this country and we might not be wanted, but our parents, our grandparents, they thought they did things, and we deserve to be here, and we deserve to have the fruit of this country.
Absolutely.
So it is very important that we set our own goals, and if we do have to do little things, menial things, go without for a while.
You see, they did menial things because it was part of a bigger plan. You see, the menial was the goal that, okay, right, while I'm working towards my main goal, I need to still finance myself. Okay, I can get XYZ from cleaning office buildings or whatever they were doing, or working at whatever retail outlet or whatever place they had to work, and I'll do that for a couple of years, and then I can apply for blah blah blah. So they had a plan, and that's the key thing. And that's why in terms of personal development, we always talk about goals, because we find once you have a roadmap, life tends to just flow, because you've got a plan. And then you see the people around you who have no plans, no goals, they just go with the flow, and their life is so unpredictable and can be quite scary because they don't know where they're going. The person with a goal knows where they're going. They know why they're doing what they're doing, and that's the difference. They know why they're doing what they're doing.
And it might not look, they might seem so far away from their goal. People might think, come on, when are they ever going to get where they want to go?
Absolutely.
Doing that?
You could be working for the minimum wage, but you are reading and you're studying and you're building a business or building something very constructive that is going to seriously reward you in the future. And you see things like that, a few years from now, those people, they have good jobs, have a good life.
Or they set up businesses and things.
Set up business, they get married, having their first child, and people think, and then people see them in their glory as a successful person and think that they were born.
They don't know the story.
And those people can sit there and they say, well, if you've got a few hours or maybe a few days, and I can tell you how I did it. What I did, And I pretty much touched on this in the last show that I was on when I came on here, is that every success has a story, as a journey, and every successful person will tell you, hey, it was not easy. It took a lot of hard work and commitment, and but I persisted and I achieved it, and that's what a lot of them will tell you, and that's really what it is. But it's worth it. And that's why, we encourage it, because it's worth it.
Absolutely.
And it's far better than staying in the situation that you may be in now.
And being at somebody else's mercy,
Exactly.
having your goals and knowing where you want to go.
Yeah.
You're in the driving seat. Yeah, it's about being in the driving seat of your life and not being, in the back seat there with somebody oh my God, is this where we've arrived? You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Because that could be...
This is not what I was expecting. Yeah.
Exactly. You could be living somebody else's nightmare, and it's really not a good situation to be in. And I've been there, so I know that it isn't the right way to go. You know, it's a nice feeling when you start to, I can say for myself, you know, it is a nice feeling when I look back now and I sort of look back on my sheet of paper, my list of goals, and I can sort of look and say, yes, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that last week. Wow, I did that. And I know that I'm in control of my life, because all the things I'm saying I'm gonna do, I'm actually doing them. And you know, I hear people so many times say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they're not doing none of it, you know, because they don't really in their heart believe they can do it. They're so focused on where they are right now that they think it's impossible to get to the next stage and move over there. They got to stay, they feel they have to stay here. And I totally know different from my own experience.
So it's about having your vision and being able to see it, no matter what it looks like, no matter what's going on outside, even if it seems as though you're going back a lot, you know, in some ways. Because even they say, like, when you're on a plane, it doesn't go forward all the way. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah,
it's constantly correcting itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the system, the computer system that's in the airplane,
yes,
is constantly correcting itself. They say it's always off course.
Yes.
And it's always correction. And even the rocket that they send to space or to the moon, it's 90%, they say, it's off course, but it has a correction mechanism which keeps it on target. And you apply those principles, that metaphor, to your own life.
Wow.
And it's
powerful.
the same exact thing. You know, you say, right, well, at this age I want to do this and I want to do that, and at the moment it looks like you're going sideways because you're in complete opposite to the dream. But you keep trying, you keep putting that, you make the phone calls that you have to make, you attend the appointments you have to attend, you do what you have to do to it, and you commit to it. And at that moment, you're not getting that much back, but you hold on to the vision, the faith, and you keep going, you keep going. Over time, you're looking back and you're thinking, wow, I'm actually living the dream. You don't, sometimes it hits you in the face, you don't even realize you've arrived, you know, until at this moment. Then you realize, I've did it.
I made it.
You know,
and that's the thing as well. You know, with what you've done, you've written Selfmade, and it's out there. You've been promoting it, and it's doing really well. But you already set up a new goal. Yeah,
and you know, that's what I find so amazing now. You know, sometimes I take great pleasure just even looking back at the past and sort of because now I can sort of tie that in with the future, with the present, you know, and partially the future. And sort of think of those days when I was sort of thinking, yeah, I've got this idea, I'm going to write this book, yeah. And I sort of think what my life was back then. And I sort of think an average day in my life now is sometimes sitting in the studio like this and coming to an exciting show and talking and preparing. That would never been back then. Or getting some pictures taken to promote something, or you know, going to an event, to an exciting event. And these events are in nice surroundings, nice places, and you get to meet lots of exciting people. So I love what I'm doing. You know, it's really added that spark to my life, which was okay but very bland a few years ago, and it's really given me a chance to grow and come out. What I would say to listeners is, come out of the comfort zone. You know, come out of the comfort zone and go to the journey, go to where it is you want to go, and achieve what you want to achieve in life.
Okay, Carl, I just want to read out this text that we have here from Al. It says, loving the vibe on your show. Great show, Imani, and your guest is excellent too. Keep up the good work.
I have to say thank you, you know, and I want to say thanks to all of our listeners, you know, for enjoying the show and taking the time to listen to the show. And
yeah,
you know, really what I want to see or hear, and what I want is for you to just really get up and you know, make that first move towards your goals, and you know, really start to make this life of yours, just fire it up, you know, make it something special. So listeners, you know, go out there, create those goals and make things happen.
Yes. So Carl, as you know, we're going to be talking for quite a while because I've got some technical problems here. So okay. You're okay, aren't you? Yeah?
I'm fine.
So let's go into we talked a little bit beforehand, and you wanted to kind of go into some other areas. Do you want to get started with that, or
in terms of I
know you're really big on the subconscious mind, and you know, all that.
Yeah,
Do you want to kind of give people a little bit of how the theory behind that?
Yeah. I mean, the subconscious mind is a very vital part of achieving the success. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, all right, for example, while you're listening to the show, you may feel fired up. When the show ends, you may think, all right, I'll get the TV remote and put a cup of coffee on or tea, and that's it. You know, and that's the comfort zone. That could be a habit that you have usually doing at this time of evening. Now, what we talk about in terms of the subconscious mind is overriding the habit and getting you to change course and to start to put into the direction that you want to go. So you may have an idea, you may have a goal, but it may be your habit to stay in the comfort zone, to not pursue that goal, to do anything different or unique, and you stay in that comfort zone. So the subconscious mind is programmed to operate like that. The subconscious mind responds to to habits. It's like a habit thermostat. It's constantly getting you to tap into the same behavior pattern, the same routine. It loves routine, and you feel good doing the same routine, and the moment you have to disrupt that routine, you feel uncomfortable. But that's actually growth. That's actually expansion. The things that you are doing that can be uncomfortable are sometimes the things that will reward you the most, because you'll grow. To overcome them, you have to grow.
So if we had an example, like say big one for people, I love eating certain foods. Or
a lot of people, they will say they want to lose weight. They'll say, I don't like the weight that I am, I'm too overweight. Or they may say, I want to give up smoking, things like that. Smoking can be one of the toughest ones. But they will say that, but they don't put in the actions. And they could lose the weight. They know how to lose the weight, but they can't get themselves to do a different habit. Their habit,
they let the habit control them.
Yeah, their habit is to eat that particular type of food. Their habit is to eat at a certain time. Their habit is to not even eat because they're hungry, but to eat for pleasure. There's some people who do the comfort eating, which is most likely the worst, because usually there's something else going on behind there. It could be unhappiness, could be depression, and then to feel good, to feel that pleasure, a nice chocolate bar or a slice of gatto cake. But too often they're eating that sort of food, and more often at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, when Sis was on a few weeks ago, we were talking about how we used to go to the shops and get this gatto. And we'd go together, and then we'd eat, and then sometimes I would go back when she's gone, and vice versa. Absolutely,
and it's a habit. I mean, sometimes it could start off as just a treat, something bad happened, and as a treat, okay, let's cheer ourselves up, you treat yourself, and it feels so good, so you're like, I'll do it again, it's only one more time. Exactly. By the time you look round, 3 weeks have passed and you're eating like that. 4 weeks have passed, you're eating like that.
And all the time the pounds are creeping up.
And all the time that habit is being programmed into our friend, the subconscious mind. And that's, once it's wired into the subconscious mind, you don't even have to think, you're going to do it.
I like the way you said friend, subconscious mind, because subconscious mind can be our best friend, really, isn't it?
It can. Our subconscious mind is a protective mechanism. It's actually there to protect us, but we overdo it, we overuse it, and that's why when we do something that's out of the routine, we get a bit frightened and we get a bit uncomfortable, because it's like, ooh, this is unwanted territory. But with a goal, you know where you're going, so although it's out of the routine and it may feel a bit scary, once you survive it, you grow bigger. It's kind of like as a metaphor, it's like the Incredible Hulk. When he's challenged, he becomes big and strong and
even
takes
more
on,
so.
takes on the problem. He takes the problem on and he destroys it, and he comes up the victor.
I love that.
But before that, when he's puny banner, the problem is too much for him. He gets thrown about. His
problems
left,
are bigger
right.
than him.
Yeah, he gets thrown left, right, centre, then he grows strong, and then boom, that's it. And that's pretty much how a human being is. When we're challenged, we grow stronger. It's frightening at first, because we're sort of, oh God, am I going to get through this? I don't know if I'm going to have to do this.
We're focusing on.
And then we emerge and we're like, I did it. I can't believe it. I've done it. So we have to understand who we are and what we are, how we operate, and this is what we talk about in Selfmade and many of these books on philosophy is we need to understand how we operate, and then we know how to best get the most out of ourselves. You know, how to get the most out of this life, out of ourselves, how it all works. You know, understand that there's spiritual laws, that spirit is all around us every day. You're never really alone. The spirit is all around you. You know, tapping into your thoughts, tapping into your vibrations, your feelings, your energy. Everything is energy. You know, but a lot of people don't understand these philosophies and this spiritual law. Once you do understand this, then you can use that to your ends. Without understanding that, then I'm afraid, like the majority, I suppose, you're just gonna be floating around, crossing your fingers, you know, and hoping that
best. So really, it's about you know, again, we keep coming back to self-knowledge, knowing yourself, knowing what you're made up of, your spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everything around you is spirit in form, and it's for you to decide what you want. Yeah. Go for it.
Absolutely.
And obstacles might come, challenges might come.
That's all part of it. I think now looking back, I think it makes it more exciting.
Well, you do. Weights, isn't that sort of this? You know, that's if you use that analogy of weight training. Yeah. Isn't that the same sort of thing? The challenges.
If I think back to my journey in the terms of the weight training that I do and bodybuilding and all of that stuff, and I think back to myself as a young guy when I was in my teens, and I was skinny and I wasn't really happy with my physique. And you know, I used to be made fun of being skinny sometimes, even in the family. As we thought, you're skinny.
Not me.
It wasn't you, but you know, I ain't gonna say any names, but you know, it was like, you're skinny. And I remember when I was at college, and I said to a friend of mine, I said, I'm gonna do weights. And
do you remember what you said? You said to me about when you came to my home. Do you remember what you said about the weights? You remember the weights?
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that. Yeah. But so I said to a friend at college, I was studying fashion design technology, and I said to this friend of mine, I said, I'm going to do weights. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier on in the show, when I said people are focused on where they are now. And because at that moment when I said I'm going to do weights, I was a skinny guy, no muscles, no nothing, you know. And my friend laughed, and he actually drew a picture of a pin man lifted up weights. Wow,
that is going to really push.
But I used that as motivation.
Exactly.
And anyway, years passed, and in the evening around that period, I went and bought a muscle fitness magazine. But anyway, years passed, and I started to put in, like I said to you listeners, putting into the goal. I was putting in, I was doing my training, nothing really major was happening. You know, I started to just get a bit more toned, but I was still quite slim and still small. You know. But I kept putting in and putting in and putting in. Years passed, and as I say, your goal will come up to you and meet you without you even notice it. Wow. It's like when I started to wear clothes or buy clothes, that's when I started to realise, oh, your size is this, or this is your size, or that's. I started to realise the size was larger, you know. And then no matter rave that I was at with my friends, we used to call it rave back in the day. Some people may say dance, club, party, whatever, I don't know.
I've got
what
no idea.
The new word is. We used to call it rave, you know, if you went out to a dance. And I saw the same friend that I was at college with all them years, and he was like, whoa, you did it. I said, yeah, I did it.
Thanks,
right.
Thanks for his little stick man that he drew for you.
He couldn't say nothing else, you know. He couldn't say nothing else. And to this day, I still lift weights, you know. And I truly believe, you know, you develop your mind, your body, your whole being.
Absolutely, because that's who you are. You're more than just one aspect.
Yeah, and all the great philosophers say that you shouldn't really neglect one particular part, because you could be spiritually rich, but you may neglect the physical part. You'll pay a price there. And you could be physically rich but spiritually weak, and you lose out somewhere there. So you really need to put into developing the whole complete you. You know, absolutely. So because it's all going to affect the part of your life, and you see some people who are very spiritual, but they're always unwell, always have illnesses, always have sicknesses, and you sort of think, gosh, they're spiritual, but they you know, they're not well all the time, or they're frail. You know, it doesn't have to be that way.
That shouldn't be the case.
No, it shouldn't be that case at all. So put into your physical well-being, your health and well-being, what you eat, you know, exercise regular. If you don't like the gym, that's fine. Not everybody, it's not for everybody. Some people do, some people don't. But even a nice walk in the park every now and then, and
is very good,
you know, just some sort of activity, or if you like dancing, or if you like football or sports, or you know, you like to ride your push bike.
Thing. Yeah.
Choose your thing. that gives
move,
you that piece of activity. And what I do also, you know, I talk about developing the spiritual and the physical. You know, even if you ride a bike and you put on some motivational audio while you're riding that bike, you're developing your positive mind, and you're also riding that bike, so you're developing strong lungs and a fit, healthy body as well to go with that new spiritual positive mind of yours. So there's so many things, listeners, you can do out there to make your life happier and better, and give yourself that moment sometimes during the week or in the day where you can just meditate and start to really just release any stress or any pressure that's on you, you know. And don't take any artificial substances to try and make you feel good. Just use your mind to just focus on a better life, a better thing. And you know, over time, if you keep doing that, things are going to turn around for you. You know, I really believe that, you know, you all out there have it in you to really produce and create some beautiful things. I believe in you. I know you can do it.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, you've got to start to believe in yourself.
Really great words, Carl, there. So, you know, you're talking about health and, you know, again, in our community, that's something. So, you know, really it's about moving and not being scared to move, and not getting caught up in feeling down about things and just... Absolutely. You know, getting stuck there, because that's what can happen sometimes.
Don't let nothing and don't let nobody, you know, get you down. You know, you be in charge of your happiness. You know, choose to be happy, choose to be, you know, joyful, and don't allow bitterness in your mind. Don't allow jealousy in your mind. Don't allow hatred in your mind. You know,
they're very destructive, aren't they? Those
are horrible.
Those emotions.
Horrible emotions. Don't allow none of that. Don't allow none of that into your mind. Think positive. Think love. Think peace. Think joy. Even when it gets really tough. Even when it gets really hard, and you just don't even know how you're gonna get through it. Still think love, still think peace, still think joy. Don't allow envy. Don't envy nobody, because you can have whatever you want.
Yeah, if you can have whatever you want, or more than the person that you might be envying.
Exactly.
So you're actually giving your energy away.
You use that situation of that successful person to let you know it's possible for you.
Yes.
Because if it's possible for them, it's possible for you, and that's how you have to see it, and that's how it is.
Definitely. So positive emotions, you know,
absolutely.
Allow yourself to dwell in that. That's where you should live, really.
That's it.
Isn't it? Yeah. Carl, I just want to. It's got some people here, some names.
Sure.
Big them up, and they're listening to you, and obviously loving what you have to say. Makeda Love, big up to you. Majana Williams, Errol Mack, Paul Baines and Iron Lion. Big up to all you people. And all you people are going to be added to the list with Al for the competition.
I just want to say, wow. You know, I really,
thank you.
Really want to say a big thank you to all the listeners. You know, it's just, you know, this is for you. This is really about your journey. This is your time. You know, this is what this show is about. It's about you making that move now to make things really happen. You know, you could be studying, you could be doing whatever you are working towards. You know, I know you can achieve it. I know you can make it through. And you just got to hold on to that dream, hold on to that vision. It is coming. It's going to happen.
Yes, and it can happen for every single one of you, each and every one, isn't it, Carl?
Absolutely.
It's not like there's only enough for these people over here.
Absolutely.
And everyone's goal's different. Like you said, you know, some people it might be about, you know, the physique. Some people it might be about building a business that, you know. Yeah,
it could be anything. You're the creator. You're in charge of your ship, your journey. You're the driving force. So you decide on what it is that you want to achieve, you know, and just keep that positive energy of flowing through you. As I said before, you know, keep your heart, your mind, your soul filled with love, joy, respect for others, respect for yourself. You know, keep that in you. You know, try and smile. You know, don't allow nobody to make you frown. You know, enjoy your life, make your life something special, and go out there and make these goals happen. You know, it's your time. You're here for a reason. You're not here for no reason. You're here for a reason and a purpose, and your job is to find that purpose.
Yeah, I like that. It's our job. It's we've come here to find ourselves. Carl, I know at some point you were doing a lot. People were asking a lot of questions on relationships, and I don't know. Do you want to go there? Yeah. Because that's another area of, in a personal development format, because some people might want to kind of, you know.
Yeah, I think, you know, people, as human beings, we all have that built in us, that desire for love, that desire to connect with others, you know. It's like even what I've read about in the past, you know, you don't really enjoy anything in life unless you share it. And I wrote that in the Selfmade book, in the love and relationships chapter, which is in the book. And the funny thing is, when I originally wrote Selfmade, it didn't have anything on love and relationships. I mean, I'd wrote articles about love and relationships. There's a famous poem that I didn't bring with me today, which I wish I had brought.
What's the name of it?
Called the Butterfly Love Poem, and that is about love. And it was through doing these casual poems on Facebook back in 2011 that I realized, the people want to read about love, because the philosophers that I had studied, they never wrote about love. They wrote mainly, their concepts was about money. It was about, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you have to pay the bills.
Money is fine.
But it was about earning money and becoming millionaires and things like that. And that was what a lot of the philosophers were writing about. And you know, I kind of touched on that in Selfmade, but I wanted to talk about developing the whole thing, you know. And you can apply the principles to money if it's money you want. You can apply it to love if it's love you want. You can apply everything is from a goal concept, as in starting an idea and then putting in. But the point I want to make is the concept was that we all get pleasure from sharing. You know, it's like if you know, you could have a beautiful life, you could have everything material that you wanted in that life, but you have nobody to share it with. It's all there for you. You have your own maid, your own butler, you have everything, but it's just you.
Not very exciting.
No, you go to meetings, you go to functions, you go to business gatherings, and it's just you. It's only professional people you have around you. Gosh, you know, with all of that, it's no fun. You know, the pleasure that you get is sharing it with somebody, that love of your life, that special person. And how do you attract that into your life? You got to be thinking love. You got to be feeling love. You got to be letting off that energy of love. You know, I think the most attractive people sometimes is the people with that confidence. And I don't mean arrogance, but I mean people who have that self-love, but they have so much to give as well. You know, it's not me, but they're happy with who they are. They could be short, tall, fat, thin, slim, whatever race, whatever creed, colour, but they're content with, this is who I am. I'm happy within myself.
You know, Carl, I like the fact you said self-love, because you can't really have a very powerful relationship unless
you're comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
You have to. That's where it starts. Self-made self-love. You know, you have to have that self-love. You know, you have to feel comfortable within yourself, and people jump on that. People love that. They're like, wow, gosh, she's really happy within herself, or he's really happy. And you see some of these people that have some imperfections, and people think, but they've got
like major imperfections.
They may have major imperfections, but they're a love magnet. You know, everybody wants to be with them because they love themselves, but they also love other people too. It's not a selfish love, but it's, I'm comfortable with myself, this is me, you know. And they admire other people as well. They could look at somebody else and say, yeah, this person's great, you know, and they're still comfortable with themselves.
So basically they've got enough to feed themselves and to feed other people, where most of the time
they're not really put themselves in the equation, you see. That's the thing. They don't put themselves in the equation. Whereas a lot of us, we try to compare and compete with others. And then that's where bitterness starts to stem, because we don't realise we're not the same as others. We're unique individual. We're unique human beings. No human being is made the same as the other. We're all unique. We all have something different to add to the table. And we're all here to serve each other. As I've said many times, if you want to buy a loaf of bread right now, there's somebody right there to serve you at the other end of the counter to say, oh yes, blah blah blah, and give you your change, and you're off, you got your loaf of bread. You didn't even have to make the bread. Somebody else made it, cooked it, wrapped it, packaged it, it's ready for you. All you have to do is pay for it, take it home, and you can eat it. So a lot
of our essentials and basics are there, and we just have to shine.
Yeah, we are all here to serve one another, to serve in friendship, to serve in love and companionship, to serve in all areas of our life. I mean, I remember I was talking to Mum a few months ago. I had a flat tire and I went to get it repaired, and I said, Mum, it just reminded me of this philosophy that I talk about in serving. The chap was fitting the tire on, and I thought I couldn't do that myself, but here I have somebody here who can just fit the tire for me. And I sort of thought, you see that we're here to serve each other, and then likewise I'll go and do a job or do something, and I'm serving someone else.
Yeah,
you know,
and even doing this.
Yeah, and I sort of thought this is what it's about. And human beings get this so twisted. We think everyone's taking up the space. We don't realise this is the wealth. This is the riches. These people are around you to help you, and you're there likewise to help them.
Absolutely.
You know, human beings are here to serve each other, to make the good world, the good life possible. You want to go on holiday? There's a plane ready for you to go there. You know, there's a hotel on the other side of the place where you're going to for you to sleep and stay. There's people there to serve you, to bring you breakfast, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, dinner, lunch. It's all there. You don't have to think of how you're going to do that.
Yeah,
that's there. Oh yeah, when I go there, I'll book in. You know, and we take it so for granted because it's always there that we moan and complain about other things that don't really matter. We have the internet. We have all this gadgetry, all this creative stuff that people have made. Where did those ideas come from, by the way? They came from someone's desire. Somebody thought, gosh, what it would mean if I could just, you know, type on a little something and send it halfway around the world. And at that moment, people probably thought, that's impossible.
They did say that, yeah.
You know, and today we do that all the time. We don't think about it. We're like so blasé about it.
Yeah, it's like no big deal now, isn't it?
Yeah, but back to love. Love is something you got to feel, you got to let that off, and then you got to attract it back into your life. And I think once you are at one with yourself, I think that's the journey that's the exercise, that's the thing for listeners, is to learn to love themselves and to be happy with themselves and stop complaining about themselves. Learn to accept yourself, you know, because if you can't accept yourself, how are you going to expect somebody out there to accept you? You know, you got to accept yourself. You've got to love yourself.
And you've got to teach people how to treat you. Yeah,
you've got to also that, and also you've got to respect yourself, but also you have to respect other people as well. You know, because all of that comes into play. You know, sometimes we get caught up in, I want this, I want. But what are you actually giving as well? You know, come on. You know, let's be real now. What are you adding to the table? What are you going to give?
Come to the table looking to give, not looking to what am I going to get out of this.
What are you going to give? Because in life you only get what you put out. You know, so if you're putting out rubbish, you may be getting rubbish back. But now if you're putting out something really good, some good warm energy out there, then I'm sure you're going to attract some warm energy back. You know,
for sure.
So you know, that's another thing. You got to look at what you're putting out, because it's the boomerang effect. I'm afraid what you put out, that flies right back at you.
Flies right back to you. Oh my God.
So you know, that's a vital thing. But you want love, put love out there, and I'm sure you'll get love back.
So it's really about looking at what you're getting and realising, you know, maybe if I do, so keep changing, being like a scientist.
Absolutely.
You know, keep experimenting.
Change your approach. Sometimes it's the approach that's incorrect. You know, I've heard stories about people, they come on too strong and they frighten the other person off.
Go away.
Change their approach. Change their approach. A successful person is somebody who can accept delay in their glory. They can delay the glory and put in the work and then get the glory later on, which is the love and happiness they deserve. You know, a person who usually fails is somebody who wants the glory without putting in. They want all the fruits right now. They haven't even planted the seed yet, you know. So you got to put in the work first, and then you get to enjoy the harvest.
The harvest, for real. So, Carl, that's a version of love, the romantic love. What about the parent and child love? That's a very important love.
Yeah, I think that's very important, because you know, sometimes us parents, we don't appreciate that we have this beautiful child before us, you know, and it's more like, oh God, you know. And I think that's sad. You know, we should be able to.
Yeah, you see harassed mums in the shopping mall,
angry mums,
grabbing the arm and going.
You know, and I just really enjoy being a dad. I totally love it. I only have my one child, and I'm totally happy to, and really, I have to give thanks. You know, it's just something I'm really proud of, to be a father, and it took me a long time in some cases to be a father, because a lot of my friends had their kids in their, some had them in their teens, some had them in their 20s. I was about 31, 32 and my daughter was born. And you know, I'm really proud to be a father, and I don't see it as any sort of burden or problem at all. I kind of feel sorry for guys who miss out on that opportunity, you know, for whatever reason. I think you have to play a part in some shape or form, you know, no matter what the situation is with the child's mum, or you know, you have to somehow play a part in there, and I just think it's a vital thing. And I think children need fathers, and I think in our community, I know I used to hear a lot about absent fathers. I don't hear too much about it now, but I know it is probably still out there, you know. And I know it is still out there, to be honest, right? But we have to try to fix that, you know. We have to try to put into that and make that change, make the father emerge, make that be a very important part of the community and of our culture. Because that could be part of the problem.
Because it will strengthen the culture, isn't it? You know.
And it could be a reason why we have some of the issues that we do have in our culture and in our community is the lack of the father, the lack of that positive real male role model in our children's lives, and the mother struggling and doing everything. I've seen too many of those images of this young mother carrying the whole house, you know, on her back, literally. And the man isn't there, and it's not nice. That, you know, it's not a nice thing really, because as the men.
And how do you think that impacts the children? I mean, it definitely affects.
It definitely impacts the children, and I think it impacts a lot of the young men growing up as well, because I think, you know, maybe that's why some lose their way, because they don't really know how to be
a man.
To be a man and how to be a person in the whole thing. You know, and what images do they see is what's on the television, and sometimes it's too negative.
They're not very positive. Yeah,
it's not very positive. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, the male had this heroic image. You know, he was gonna help somebody or do something for somebody or save somebody or support somebody, and you know, and the image we have now in 2013 isn't very good.
So how would you like to see that change, Carl? How would you like to see the image of
I would like
a man,
to see
especially
us,
in our black community?
Yeah, I would like to see us being the good guy, being the one who's going to support the help support the child and the his partner or his ex-partner, and you know, and even if you're not with the partner, I think you still got to try and be amicable. Sometimes it may be impossible if it's not mutual, but you know, show that you're better than that, and that you don't have to get caught up in any conflict or any drama. Show that you're the adult. You know, if the other party doesn't want to be
so
that
it's
way.
about putting your emotions to the side.
Absolutely.
Your personal emotions.
Emotions have to come.
And think, what is this going to do for the child?
Yeah, you've got to understand the bigger picture, that it's about being what I would classify as a man or an adult, you know, being responsible, and the child is what counts. The child is the important part.
Because I'm hearing a lot of talk that a lot of men feel that a lot of women today in the black community are too demasculating the men, maybe putting them down, not supporting them.
Well, we have to prove that that's wrong, and you know, from my philosophy in regards to Selfmade, it's really not caring too much about what people say about you or think of you. It's really about what you think of yourself, and you know, showing, as I say, we are more than capable. We are more than capable. We don't need to wait for what government's going to come into power. We don't need to wait for this,
it has no
or wait
effect,
for that.
Yeah,
that's just always there. From when I was a child, from when I was a kid, from when I was a young man, I always used to hear about recessions and hear about this and hear about high unemployment and God knows what.
It's always there.
I always heard about a whole bunch of negative things, you know, but yet there were still people thriving and striving and living large and doing great things with their life and doing great things for other people too. You know, it didn't stop them. You know, you look at, we heard about Nelson Mandela in the news not so long ago. Look at what he achieved, and look at all the stress. That's off the radar, what he went through to achieve the goal.
27 years gold,
you know,
lost.
We talk about goals, and you know, that's off the scale. And I'm just talking about you guys out there creating a goal that's going to make your life a bit happier. But he went through some serious stuff to achieve the goal that he achieved, and he achieved it and came out of prison and became, what is it, the president or the prime minister they have over there, and he achieved that goal. So we can definitely achieve our goals, you know. And for us young men out there or men out there, it doesn't matter if somebody's saying something to demasculinate you or put you down. You show that you are bigger than that, you're better than that. You know, prove them wrong. Make that be your goal.
But I think it's like what you said, because I feel, you know, both women and men, they both need support in the black community from each other.
Yeah.
And it's about, you know, both people thinking, you know, what are we going to, you know, what am I going to get from this if I do this? Like you were saying, if you give, it comes back to you in a positive way.
Well, if you're going to put into, if somebody's saying, oh, you're nobody, you're unemployed, you're nothing, you don't contribute, then develop yourself, grow yourself, educate yourself, read books, study, participate. As I said before about people who come from overseas or people who are in the country and they have a big dream and you see them doing menial jobs to make the big breaks. You know, do what you have to do to make the big breaks and prove them wrong. And do it for yourself too, you know, and do it for your children.
And I think as well, it might not even be that the person is coming from a negative stand. They might just feel, you know, overwhelmed themselves, say the woman, and she's just saying whatever she has to say in that moment. And maybe she really does want to empower that man, but obviously probably choosing the wrong way to do that.
Yeah, the tough love mechanism.
Yeah, tough love, yeah.
You know, the tough love mechanism. But as I say, that's just the wind. This is about self-made, you know, and self-made is about you looking at yourself and thinking, how can I improve this self? You know, redesigning yourself. You're not happy with where you are, you know, what's happening in your life at this moment. You're going to redesign yourself. You're going to change this current situation that you're in, this current person that you feel you are, but isn't really you. And you're going to show that you are better than that. And you're going to start to put down ideas.
Because that is the actual truth, isn't it?
Yeah, and you are better than that. You're just not using it. That's the key thing. You have got greatness within you, and gosh, you know, when you actually start to apply that greatness into your life, you're really going to surprise yourself. And people are going to start to look at you different, and people are going to start to give you the respect that you deserve to get. So trust me, guys, go out there and do your thing. You know, become the person you was born to be.
Yes. I like that. So good, Carl.
Thank you.
Yes, so I feel now we're really going into the sort of wrapping up stage, really.
Okay.
But, so to conclude with everything that we've touched on, personal development, we've touched on subconscious mind, which is also part of that. We've looked at relationships, family, and also, actually, family. What would you say about people in their families empowering each other? Because that's a very important thing as well. I
totally agree with that. You know, I mean, that's the ultimate.
Imagine lots of strong
that's
families.
The ultimate, and that goes back to the concept of what I was saying before about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Imagine being in a family where you have a mum and dad which is saying, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that being in the community, that type of family, that would be great. That a lot of people would start to fly up and really have, you know, a powerful life and a successful life and really go where they want to go. But yeah, family definitely is supportive. We all have to support each other. You know, no man is an island, as they say. And you know, even as I say on my journey, but you attract that support. You know, if I think of my journey, I didn't really even go out looking for it. I just did what I had to do as far as I could do at my end. You can only go so far with what you can physically do yourself. And I found the support was attracted to me. I'd go to events and I'd meet people at these events. And sometimes I didn't even particularly want to go to the event, but sometimes people say, hey, there's this event, it sounds like your thing.
I'll tell you what, that's when it's usually the best. When you
I remember you said to me to go to this coaching event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then another friend at work said, oh, you got to go on this coaching event. And I realised it was the same event. And this was back in like February or something, 2011. I was like, what's this coaching event got to do with me and Selfmade? I'm writing a book called Selfmade. What's coaching got to do with that? I realised I was so new to all of this stuff. I didn't even really recognise the tie-in. But people around watching and reading the articles and reading the concepts from Selfmade was realising, that's that what that people are saying NLP. I was like, what's NLP? I don't even know what that is.
Very powerful.
I was more deep on philosophy, and that was my terminology was philosophy. This is philosophy. I weren't thinking of words like coaching, mentoring, NLP. Those were that was the public jumping in on the Selfmade stuff, and then I was like, but I started to wake up, and I thought, oh, okay,
you wake up really quick as well.
Yeah, and I went to the event that you mentioned and that this friend at work mentioned, and on my journey at the event, I attracted the people that I needed to push the book to the next stage. I met somebody there who knew somebody who did personal branding. They do branding and stuff like that, and a bit of coaching and mentoring. And I worked with those people. And
so that was actually taking you on the journey.
Yeah, and it fired me up. Yeah, took it to the next journey, because what they did when they worked with me, we started to talk about putting strategy to the goal. Like, when do you think you could finish the book? When do you think you could this? When you could that? So it started to make me start to operate at a much higher level than what I knew I was capable of. So you attract. We talk about this. This is the law of attraction. Yes. You attract the people, the places, the opportunities, the events. But the main thing, you have to make the decision. And that's the key thing.
So that's the first
thing. The hook is the decision. I am going to do it. And that's the key thing. I am going to do it. The decision is made, it's sealed, and you plant that decision, and then it grows.
So you make your decision, and you get started.
Yeah.
And you've got to stay motivated.
Yeah, and you go on your journey. And put your helmet on and your seatbelt on, because it may be a bumpy ride.
Definitely.
But you're going to get there, you know, and that's really what it's about. And I'm truly honoured and really happy and glad that I have done what I have done. And there's a lot more to come.
Absolutely. So, Carl, if you would just like to leave some valuable, just something, a little something.
I'm going to read the dreams poem
before we do the competition,
and then we're going to jump into it. So just to end off, the evening.
That's a fantastic poem as well, by the way.
I want to leave you with. I want you to focus on your dreams. So we're going to do the dreams poem again. So, what is a dream? A dream is a stream of thoughts and images experienced during sleep or daydreams of one's desires. What are your dreams? What are your desires in life? Do you visualize a happy home, a carefree life, love, joy, and happiness? A walk in the park, a dinner for two, a quiet drive down country lanes. Imagine happiness and bliss that's for you. You have the answers in you. You see, your dreams have power, the power from you. Your dreams are the visions of your life's desires, waiting for you to call them into the physical world. Your thoughts and feelings vibrate and bring your dreams to life. So don't give up on your dreams. With a desire and persistence, your dreams will come true. You have overcome so many trials and tribulations, so many obstacles and setbacks. This is a demonstration of your great power. So how can one make their dreams come true? One can apply the ingredients called faith, belief, persistence, and patience. In the 1950s and 60s, Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream that was so powerful it turned hatred and fear into love, joy, and freedom. He was patient, he was persistent, and he believed in faith. He waited many years for that dream to come true, and it did come true. Your dreams will come true too. By the power of your persistence, you will find the answers. Your dreams will come true. You are not just a being, you are a spiritual being, a life force of energy. You are a being of power and greatness. You are a part of creation, and you are a creator. So just understand that you can have what you want in life and be who you want to be. By the power of wisdom and faith, it is possible.
Yes. Fantastic poem. Fantastic poem. Love it.
Thank you, listeners. I really just, as I say, want you to go out there and just do it. Come on, it's time. Go for it.
It doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter what sex you are.
You could be, whatever you are, you're alive. That's the main thing that matters. You're here. You're
still in the game. Once you're breathing.
You're here, you're breathing, you're conscious. Use that powerful mind of yours in a positive way. Let the love flow and let things happen.
Because you are pure love. That's who you really are. Love.
Absolutely.
The highest emotion that you could ever feel.
Love is the most warmest, emotion, giving, sharing, caring. Wow, there's nothing that can top that. Come on. There's nothing that can top love, joy, freedom, peace, happiness. Can't replace that. Can't put a price tag on it. Go out there, make it happen. Self-made.
Because that's what we all are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. So Carl, we are going to give your book away, your signed copy of your debut book.
Okay.
So if you would like to Just pick a number between 1 and 6.
Right, so this is kind of a surprise because I don't even know whose name.
No, don't worry. Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, this is the good part.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't know.
All I know is I have a number from 1 to 6 to say who is going to be receiving a signed copy of Selfmade. Right, 1 to 6. Wow. Wow. 1 to 6. 1 to 6. I don't know, you know.
We would have had some music.
I would say
some technical problems here.
You know, 2004 was a good year, so I think I'm gonna have to go with number 4.
Wow! And the winner is. Can we have some drum roll, please? I don't have my music normally. The winner is Majana Williams.
Wow!
Majana Williams.
Majana Williams.
Well done.
Congratulations. You
Majana,
are
please send
self-made.
in your details, how we can get the book to you. Send in your details to nubiahouseradio@gmail.com.
I want to say congratulations to, is it Majana Williams? Congratulations, Majana Williams. Welcome to Selfmade. You know, now, you know, we're going to fire you up and get this journey of yours really moving forward. Welcome to Selfmade. Congratulations. I wish you truly all the best.
I can tell you it's a real page turner, so you will not want to put it down, Majana. So, you know, again, fantastic. Congratulations. And I just want to say that, you know, I'm so proud to have had my brother on the show, my little brother on the show. So proud of him. So proud of what he's doing, so proud that, you know, he loves his community and he's out there week after week, you know, talking to people, going out to the schools.
I'm really happy to be here, and I just want to say, you know, a weekend ago actually, on Saturday, I had the opportunity of attending the London Mayor's mentoring program in Hackney. And it was beautiful. The whole day was beautiful because I attended the Hackney Mayor's mentoring program, and then after that I attended the To Inspire event to do a talk. So the whole day was marvelous, and it was really great to see what they're doing with, you know, their plans for mentoring our young people. Yeah. It's really great ideas, and I'm glad to be taking part in that. So that's something I'll be working on and getting involved in the coming weeks and months, and look forward to it.
So you'll let us know the details, and
absolutely,
yeah. So
absolutely.
And I'll let people know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, you know, just glad to have you here, and you know, you know, just as a big sister, watching you grow up, and obviously I saw you from birth to where you are now.
Yeah.
And I must say, you know, as a young man, I mean, I know, yeah, you know, young man, I'm very proud to say, yeah, you've always been wonderful.
Total big thanks, sis, and you know, it's great to be on your show, and I'm proud of you as well. You know, having your own radio show, and you know, we always talk about self-love and you know, a person developing themselves and growing themselves, and to see that you have this platform here where you're here to share that love and give that love out to the listeners, and you know, it's just really a pleasure to be here and to be in your presence and see this, you know, and be a part of this. I'm absolutely enjoy.
Well, thanks, bruv, because you are the reason why I'm here. So again, I have to go back to you. You know, you were the one who told me about what Nubia House is doing.
I just see it as I was a vessel, and but I think, you know, if we're talking about law of attraction, I think you attracted that was what was in your heart, and you attracted that, and you know, things happen in a practical way in this world, you know, with an explanation, and you know, I feel that's you know, this is all part of your journey. It was all part of the plan.
Oh, right. Majana's, you know, who's just won the book. She says, give thanks, and great show, and very enlightening.
Oh, thanks. So, many thanks. Thanks so much for that. You know, and as I say, just to recap, I wish you the best, and congratulations on winning your copy of Selfmade. Welcome.
Welcome. So, yes, I just want to say we're obviously going now, and a big up to Nubia House. Big up
Nubia
to
House.
Minty over there.
Minty.
Who's you know, who's put this all together.
Founder,
and, yeah.
You know, and
he's I think he's you know, I think he's amazing. I think, you know, he's sort of humble doing his thing, and he's over there, and he's like, oh, you know, but you know, this is amazing.
It's all
and
part of that positive energy, you know, people coming together with like-minded energy putting that positive love out there. And as I said before, you know, the best energy for human being to pump through them, and what we're all doing here is pumping that emotion of love, peace, joy, happiness, sharing, giving, caring. Nothing can top that.
Because there's so many you know, different presenters coming with different things, and it's amazing, and it all come out of, you know, what Minty dreamed.
And that is the proof that one person can really make a massive impact
to other people's lives,
into other people's lives, and open doors and give platforms for others to share that. You know, so yes, you know, I want to give a hand to
a big up to Minty.
Move your house. You know?
He's hiding under the table, listeners.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we are going to let you go and do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we've really enjoyed having you listen and experience the show with us. And again, thank you, Carl, for coming in. I love you to bits. I don't want to get you, you know, don't want to get all silly. But thanks so much. And
pleasure to be here.
We are out of here, and I will be back. Oh, hold on. I've just got another something else to say here. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Majana. Great show, Imani, she says so. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, yes, we're definitely going to go now. I will probably have a guest next week. I have to get more details, but I will be back next week. It will probably be a guest. I have to find more details, but I will leave the details on the Facebook page, Nubia House, and so you'll find out all about it. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we are gone. Come on, Carl.
Thank you, listeners. All the best. Wish you all the best. Have a great and wonderful evening. Thanks for listening.